Welcome to Prime 9, the countdown show that covers the very best in baseball. Guaranteed to start arguments, not end them. On this episode, it's the 9 best double play combinations. Why 9? That's baseball. 9 players, 9 innings. Prime 9. It's important that you know right off the bat that this list has nothing to do with bats. In 2009, Derek Jeter and Robinson Cano became the first Keystone combination to each have 200 hits. But they're not on this list. No, this is based strictly on glove work, the defensive value brought as a duo, and of course, how well they turned the double play.
The second baseman and shortstop would team together, one off, and then the other players on the diamond.
And you do need 2 to make it to this dance. Ozzie Smith is one of the greatest shortstops ever.
What a double play by Ozzie Smith!
But he never had a strong enough partner at second, nor did we pick any one-year wonders. They had to turn 2 together for at least 3 years to qualify.
And they turned the double play. Are you serious?
We also considered the metric of runs prevented, a stat that attempts to measure runs saved in the field in the context of the player's era. So here they are, the best double play combinations of all time, starting with number 9 on Prime 9. When the Cincinnati Reds captured 2 straight World Series titles in the mid-'70s, they were called the Big Red Machine for the relentless offense. Just as valuable was the defense of shortstop Dave Concepcion and second baseman Joe Morgan.
The most underrated phase, I believe, of this entire Cincinnati ball club, defense. The quickness of Morgan and look at the agility of Concepcion.
Without this double play combination, I don't believe the Reds would have gone to the World Series in 1975 and, of course, won it again in 1976.
2 really good players. Those 2 guys were, as a combo, really tough to beat.
The fact that Morgan was such a dynamic force at the plate just might have overshadowed his brilliance in the field.
Little Joe Morgan, who used a glove about the size of a oven mitten, but he was a great defensive player, had a lot of range.
Morgan makes a play.
He showed you some range.
What more can that guy do? He's all over the field.
To Joe's right was the lanky Venezuelan Concepcion, a 9-time All-Star and 5-time Gold Glove winner.
Dave Concepcion was the best shortstop that I have ever covered, and I think he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Up the middle. Concepcion, a fine play to throw in time. What a play.
Davey's range was far and above better than anybody in the league. Davey had such great range that he could shade certain hitters up the middle, which would free up Joe to play pretty much where he wanted to play.
Morgan will have to hustle. Here's a throw. They got him.
He was my double play partner, and we just kind of meshed so well together.
For 3 straight years, this tandem represented the National League in the All-Star Game's starting lineup.
They were without parallel. I mean, you had a Gold Glover at second base, you had a Gold Glover at shortstop. There's never been a greater double play combination, I don't think, in the history of this franchise than Joe Morgan at second base and Davey Concepcion at shortstop.
When you look at the history of the Brooklyn Dodgers during the Reese Robinson era, you see 5 pennants, and that's no accident. They were absolutely the heart and soul of those teams.
Jackie Robinson is one of the most significant figures in both baseball and American history.
Jackie Robinson is something special. Special as an athlete, special as a human being.
And when he took his place for Brooklyn at second base, he was extra special.
But Jackie Robinson, I thought, was one of the best players that ever played the game.
In addition to being such an important part of baseball history, Jackie Robinson was a terrific defensive second baseman.
Robinson was the Dodgers' primary second sacker for 5 years. 4 of those seasons, he led all second basemen in turning double plays.
He had probably the best range at second base of anybody playing at that time.
Robinson stabs it with a brilliant gloved hand catch and throws him out.
He was absolutely fearless when a runner was coming in. He was an extremely tough athlete.
Jackie's double play partner was the team captain, Pee Wee Reese, and in many ways, the little colonel was the prototypical shortstop.
Reese could do it all as a shortstop. He had the arm
and the range.
And then as he matured, the intelligence.
They were savvy and slick, smooth operators around the second sack.
You had two of the smartest players in their era paired up, making plays at the middle infield.
What's more, Pee Wee's public acceptance of Robinson helped ease the racial tension of the time, while his play at short helped make this duo one of the best in the game.
Without the splendid glove work of Reese and Robinson in the middle of that infield, those Dodger teams would have been very, very different, and not in a positive way.
Welcome back to Prime 9, featuring the 9 best double play combinations. We've made our case for 9 and 8, which means it's time for number 7.
Sweet Lou and Alan Trammell are coming out together. That's the only way they should come out.
Lou Whitaker played more than 2,300 games at second, and Alan Trammell more than 2,100 at short, side by side for Detroit in the course of 19 seasons.
Alan Trammell, Lou Whitaker, they were a dynamic duo in the middle part of that infield.
Second baseman Lou Whitaker and shortstop Alan Trammell were inseparable in the minors and now comprise the major's youngest double play combination.
We think of them together almost as one player.
Trammell and Whitaker.
Trammell and Whitaker.
Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker. Those guys played together so long and did so many wonderful things.
To have those two guys in the middle of your infield, it was exciting.
Line drive, caught by Trammell.
Right side, picked up by Whitaker. Gullickson covers, out.
13 straight seasons they played more than 100 games each. And every spring they sought to hone their craft.
They were awesome. The way they worked at it in spring training, they knew exactly what to do each and every time they had a double play opportunity, and they turned it all the time.
They are the all-time double play combination in baseball history.
Poetry in motion. 2 human vacuum cleaners. Both of them gold gloves. It was almost as if they knew what the other was thinking.
It's wrapped to Whitaker, falls down but has it. There's 1 and 2.
Those two guys were the heart and soul of the Detroit Tigers when they played.
Trammell and Whitaker, names forever linked, a legacy never to be forgotten. The infield artistry of Omar Vizquel earned him a special place in the hearts of Cleveland fans. 8 straight gold gloves and 11 seasons at shortstop will do that.
There wasn't a play that Omar Vizquel couldn't make.
Big C over the shoulder catch.
He could go to his left.
Oh my, Omar, one more time.
He could go to his right.
Oh, here's Vizquel in the hole. And did he get him? Yes, he did.
He could field the ball barehanded.
A swing and a bouncing ball wide of third in the hole. Bare hand grab by Vizquel, the throw in time.
He was as good as it gets at shortstop.
Roberto Alomar had 7 gold gloves to his name when he joined Vizquel in 1999.
He could range far into the outfield, either left or right, and throw somebody out.
And he hits a ground ball on the right side by a diving Alomar. No, he gets it, throws him out. Only Robbie Alomar can make that play.
Unbelievable.
Tremendous skills. You wanted to see somebody put on a show, like a ballerina.
Chopped on the right side, Alomar diving to his left, has it. Backhanded flip, in time!
The 3 seasons they played together were so magical. They were a pitcher's dream come true.
The pitcher felt comfortable when they were pitching, that they knew we were going to catch the ball.
Another spectacular double play turned by Alomar and Vizquel.
Every night, one or the other was going to do something that was special.
Vizquel near second, steps on second, hurdles the runner, throws to first for the double play. He's the only one in the game that makes that play. Ground ball towards second. Alomar diving to his right, makes the stop from his knees, throws in time.
Both individually great players. Combine them, it was a highlight reel every night.
Rack it up! Another one to the highlight reel!
They put on an amazing show, better than anything you've ever seen in the history of baseball.
Welcome back to Prime 9, featuring the game's best double play combinations. We opened with Joe and Dave, followed by Pee Wee and Jackie. Next came Alan and Lou and Omar and Roberto. which brings us to number 5.
When you walk outside U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago, you see these two statues, Nellie Fox and Louis Aparicio.
They honor the heart and soul of the Go-Go Sox from the late 1950s, Chicago's double-play combination for 7 memorable seasons, a stretch in which little Louie won 5 of his 9 Gold Gloves.
Aparicio was the star.
He was just a little guy, about 5'8", 5'9", and about 150 pounds, soaking wet. A little guy just glide all over the shortstop position, tremendous range, and he had an unbelievably strong arm for just a little guy.
I can't say enough good things about Louis Aparicio. To me, he was the best shortstop that I ever saw.
No question he was the best shortstop of his time.
Folks, you've been viewing Louis Aparicio, and now here's something else I'd like you to see.
That would be Nellie Fox, a 15-time All-Star who captured 3 Gold Gloves as the White Sox slick second sacker.
Nelson Fox was highly regarded as a defensive player. He had the fielding statistics to back up a very high reputation. He led the American League second baseman in putouts and assists consistently for about a decade.
He had a reputation as being sure and reliable, but when he was paired with Aparicio, the magic extended from shortstop to second base, and they became this mythical, great double-play combination.
Numbers and awards are one thing, but Aparicio and Fox also had the undying admiration of their peers.
Nellie Fox, to me, he was my second baseman on my all-time team, and Louis Aparicio was my shortstop.
Aparicio was great. Nellie was a great second baseman. Both of them were great. They both got in the Hall of Fame, and God bless them.
Phil Rizzuto, to me, in many ways, personified the spirit of the Yankees. A little guy did the job, and Phil epitomized the team spirit.
Phil Rizzuto had a breakout season at the plate in 1950 and captured the American League MVP award. Quite a coup for a man best known for his consistently brilliant defense.
Well, he played shortstop as well as he could be played. He had great range.
Rizzuto makes a fine stop and fires a long, accurate throw to first.
The main thing he did, he caught every ball that should have been caught.
Bounces the curve to short. Rizzuto flips it over to Collins and reaches up.
He could come in on balls wonderful, and he was a superb shortstop. He was as good as they could be.
For 3 of his 13 years in pinstripes, Scooter was paired with second baseman Joe Flash Gordon, who brought a fearless mentality to his position.
Gordon was very physical at second base. He was a bigger guy, and as a result, he really hung in at second base when tough sliding players would try to knock him down.
He just wasn't a baseball player. He was an outstanding athlete. He was a super second baseman, had tremendous range.
The slow-motion camera analyzes the finished style of Joe Gordon.
This was probably, in my opinion, the greatest second baseman in baseball.
In 41 and 42, Flash and Phil became just the second double-play duo ever to lead the league in double plays at their position 2 straight years.
The center of the Yankee infield with those 2 players on it was pretty close to airtight.
I think it turned a lot of Yankee losses into victories, the way they handled defense.
Just consider that in the 3 years they were together, the Yankees captured 2 pennants and a World Series title.
The combination of Phil Rizzuto and almost any second baseman made for a great defensive infield for the Yanks. But in the 3 years that he was paired with Joe Gordon, this was the best double-play combination the Yankees have ever had.
Bill Mazeroski is best known for doing something in 1960 that no other major leaguer can lay claim to.
Here's a swing and a high fly ball going deep to left, but they do it. It is over the fence, home run. The Pirates win.
No one but Maz has ever hit a World Series winning home run in the bottom of the 9th inning of a Game 7. It is, without a doubt, one of baseball's most iconic moments. But it actually has overshadowed this Hall of Famer's greatest claim to fame.
Bill Mazeroski is the best defensive second baseman in baseball history.
The 8-time Gold Glover saved countless runs thanks to his peerless ability to turn the pivot.
Key is that his value in turning the double play kept runs off the board better than any second baseman in history.
Mazeroski had tremendous range, and the numbers bear out that he made a lot of plays in the field, but I think what he's most known for is the number of double plays he turned.
More double plays by the 10-time All-Star than any second baseman before him or since. But to make this list, it's not enough to be among the best fielding infielders of all time. It takes two, and he had a partner who was right up his alley. His name was Gene Alley, a 2-time Gold Glove winning shortstop. And together with Maz, they made middle infield magic together.
He and Alley teamed up in 1964 to 1970. They turned 170 more double plays than the second team in the league over that period. And they were just tremendous at turning balls up the middle into double plays.
Santa with a high hopper toward the shortstop. Alley to Mazeroski. Double play to end the inning.
In 1966 and 67, Maz and Alley had two of their finest seasons and were both Gold Glove winners.
You had the best second baseman of all time and an above-average shortstop, so there wasn't a combination in the National League that was better at that time.
We now return to Prime 9, where this week we're featuring the game's best double play combinations. Up to this point, all but two of our DP combos played more than 30 years ago, most long before even that. So will that trend change with numbers 1 and 2? Well, don't hold your breath. We begin with number 2. At the start of the modern baseball era, the Chicago Cubs were a dynasty, winning 3 straight pennants in the early 1900s.
During that 5-year period, the Cubs averaged 106 wins per year. It's no stretch to think that this team won more games with infield defense than any team in history.
At the heart of that infield was the keystone combo of Joe Tinker and Johnny Evers, who, along with first baseman Frank Chance, were immortalized in a 1910 poem.
You don't have those 06 to 10 Cubs without Tinker, Evers, and Chance. They played in the dead ball era, the early part of the 20th century, and it really helped to have an airtight defense.
The strength of that infield was its legendary double play combination, starting with shortstop Joe Tinker, who was somewhat new to the position.
Tinker came up as a third baseman, so he had a very good arm. He was quick, although not that fast. He didn't steal a lot of bases, but like a lot of great shortstops, he had that good first move.
Tinker's partner at second was Evers, who, though small in stature, had a knack for coming up big.
Johnny Evers came up as a wet rag of a second baseman from Troy, New York. He was 120 pounds and 5'9".
Evers has extraordinarily fast hands. In my reading about baseball, only Mazeroski would be a comparable second baseman in terms of how fast he could turn over the double play.
In their 8 years as the Cubs' main combo, Tinker and Evers led their positions in defensive runs prevented, helping the Cubs average 100 wins a year.
They worked together beautifully, and in fact, a contemporary baseball writer referred to Tinker and Evers as the Siamese twins of baseball because they played together so seamlessly.
The fact that they were notorious for not speaking to each other off the field made their smooth as silk work on it even more amazing.
There is an irony here, which is that Tinker and Evers did not like each other off the field. Each man blamed the other for what became an enduring personal dispute.
Just goes to show that you don't have to like each other to play together at a level that was highly admired by your peers.
The contemporaneous opinion of the Cubs infield was unanimous. Together, they certainly played well beautifully, and they were regarded as the most solid infield in baseball in their era.
No one penned a sonnet about our number 1 double play combination, but they made poetry on the field nonetheless. For 17 seasons, Mark the Blade Belanger played shortstop for the Orioles. During that time, he won 8 Gold Gloves and was the anchor of a team known for its exceptional defense.
Belanger's probably the best shortstop of recent memory. He and Ozzie Smith are within 1 or 2 runs of each other in terms of runs saved, and Belanger played far fewer games than Smith did.
Blade was very quick, very accurate arm, great hands.
Minor, great play by Belanger.
No shortstop in the 70s enjoyed more wins than Belanger. He was far from flashy, but was solid as a rock.
Range, arm, grace, just got to the ball, was very smooth in doing it.
Chopper to Belanger, has to wait for it and hurry his throw, and gets him.
Mark Belanger was simply the best defensive shortstop of the 1970s.
It was in 1973 that Mark got a new double-play partner when rising star Bobby Grich took over at second base.
Bobby was a shortstop originally.
Bobby Grich covers so much ground.
Bobby Grich could go to his right as well as anybody and put something on the throw. I mean, a rocket arm.
Great stop, plants throw, great play.
We wondered what was Baltimore manager Earl Weaver's favorite part of essentially having two solid shortstops up the middle.
Well, favorite part was getting out of an inning and watching the pitchers smile every now and then with the great plays that they made.
Slow grounder to Belanger, over to Grich for one, back to first, they get two.
It was a great combination, both great defensive ball players.
Belanger and Grich, they're tough. They were really great as a duo because when the Gold Glove results came out each year, they were each winning a Gold Glove.
A perfect 4 for 4 for each of them in their 4 seasons together. Throw in their overall defensive value, and the #1 double-play combo of all time is Belanger and Grich. Grich is not a Hall of Famer, and we often wonder why. He was one of the most well-rounded second basemen of all time, an exceptional fielder. And from his first full season in '72 through the end of his career in '86, he led all second basemen in home runs.
There's a long drive, left field, way back, it's gone, and the ball game is over.
In '81, he joined Rogers Hornsby and Nat Lajoie as the only second baseman ever to lead the league in homers, slugging percentage, and OPS+. Now, he did play in the shadow of Brooks Robinson and all those great pitchers in Baltimore. And the Angels' Rod Carew, Reggie Jackson, and Don Baylor stole the spotlight there. Could that be why Grich got less than 3% of the Hall of Fame vote in '92 and then was off the ballot? The question still lingers.
Bobby Grich is the hero.
Well, that's our Prime 9. What's yours?